So what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, you know I appreciate having you here. We've got another one, folks. We've got another one. The Hornet 500 by Honda. We've got a first impressions ride coming up. I just want to give you a quick look at this bike before we go out and ride it. We are going to do a proper walk round of this bike with a different camera, a little bit more in depth later on in the video, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. Your boy Fish has done it again. We've got another exclusive, the Honda Hornet 500 in this lovely red colour. It's got a few extras. We've got the seat cowl on there, we've got a little screen here, and the wheel rim tape. I believe that's it. That's all that's extra on here. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment downstairs in the comment section. What do you think of the new Hornet? I quite like it. It's a looker. I like the CB500F before, so this is an improvement looks wise on that, and that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this one. So let's get on it. Let's turn that key, put the gloves on, and let's go for a ride. Hey, 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 go crazy. Right, so before we get fully into it, let's get the formalities out of the way. Thank you very much to Doble's Motorcycles down in Causden for giving me the drop on yet another bike. If you are in the area, go and check them out. Go and see Ian, the general manager. He will sort you out with a great deal. Lovely shop. I've been dealing with them for many years, even before doing YouTube, and I've got to say they've always had my back. So big shout to Doble's for giving me this bike for a little while. Really appreciate it, my friends, really appreciate it. I shall leave a link to their website downstairs in the descriptions box, so go and check them out. A little bit about myself: I'm 6'2", wide in the shoulders, long in the legs, and that's just so you know how I get to the conclusions I get to when I jump on a bike. Everyone's a different shape, everyone's a different size. So if you really want to know how you get on a bike, go and take one for a test ride. Wow, absolutely glorious day. Could do with being a touch warmer, but we won't begrudge it a little bit of chilliness at the moment. A little bit greasy under the trees still. It's been raining for a few days, but on the whole, hopefully it's a little bit dry today. That would be lovely. Right, I haven't been on it that long, but let me give you a little quick lowdown on the ergonomics of this thing. The seat to bars to peg ratio, that little triangle that determines whether you're comfortable or not. Now, I made a sensible decision today. I took my CB500F into Doble's before I picked this up. I usually take the Africa Twin and find everything a little bit too small, but turning up today on that tiny little 125, coming onto this, it actually feels good. This is the right way around to do a test ride. It is a little bit sporty on the legs. They are bent, not fully tucked up behind you, but it is a little bit sporty, which is a good thing on a bike like this. It's not total armchair, but it's not uncomfortable at all. It's actually a nice bend in the legs, if that makes sense at all. If I don't make sense, by the way, on these videos, it wouldn't be the first time, and you're not alone in thinking that. Now, I've got long thigh bones. I don't know if you can see that there, but they're quite long. But they do sit under the ridge of the tank quite nicely. It's not uncomfortable at all. So the leg position was pretty much what I expected. It's actually more comfortable than I thought it would be. Now, the seat is a little bit tough. It's not uncomfortable, it's a little bit firm. But again, I expected it on this, and it will bed in. This is a brand new bike. I think it had only done 2 miles when I picked it up. It's firm, and there's a little bit of wiggle room. Not too much, but just enough. The bars and the width, absolutely beautiful. It's really, I would say, perfect for this bike. Not too wide, not too slim. I say that on most bikes because what I'm trying to get at is what the width of the bars are compared to what style of bike it is. So if you're on an adventure bike, you want a wider bar. If you're on a naked bike, which is kind of low powered, which is more commuter, come sporty, weekend fun, that sort of thing, then you need them wide, but not too wide. Anything sporty, you kind of slim, drop down, that sort of thing. I think you know where I'm coming from. What I'm trying to say is I like the bars. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It's simple, isn't it, when you do it like that? And I like the look of them. I really like the look of this front end. It's nice. Much of an improvement over the old one, in my opinion, of course. Right, mirrors, pretty good, standard Honda ones. You can see behind you, that's the main thing. A little bit of metal elbows in there, but as we've established in the past, I've got damn sexy elbows, so feast on that, my friends, feast on that. I know what you're thinking, let's address the elephant in the room straight away. CB500F or Hornet? And it's a Hornet, and I'll tell you why, because that's what they call it, and they can call the bikes what they want. But they're going with the new Hornet name right through the range, from this, the 500, and then they're going the 750 Hornet, which we've done before, and the 1000cc Hornet that I haven't ridden yet, but hopefully will ride in the near future. Now, a lot of people will get this bike as a first big bike. It is A2 compliant, so it drops under that, I think it's 47 brake horsepower category. So a lot of people will be looking at this, and they are very popular over on the continent, these little 500s, and for good reason. Engine is lovely, it's beautifully smooth, little bit vibration at the top end, but nothing too bad. And also you'll find a lot of people will buy this sort of bike for commuting, because it's easy to get on with, relatively cheap, proven engine, nice slick gearbox, we'll get onto that in a minute. It's just an all-round easy bike to ride, typical Honda if you like, and it hasn't got the power to scare the life out of you, but it's got enough power to have a little bit of fun, and that's the main thing. So while we're talking about the engine, it is a parallel twin, I think it's 471cc, and it runs right across the 500 range. I really like this engine, but if you are a subscriber to the channel, you know that, because I've had two 500Xs, and I really like this engine. So I didn't expect anything different for today's ride. Now the frontal area is nice, it's got this little kind of screen on it, takes all the crap away from the clocks, which is nice. And the clocks, even in bright sunlight, this low winter sun, very clear, got no problem seeing it at all. What we do is we take it up here and we take it along a bumpy country lane. You might have seen this lane in some of my videos before. I do like it because it's greasy, bumpy, a little bit sketchy, but it does test the bikes out nicely on how it handles bumpy country lanes, which are the kind of roads I like to ride in the UK. The gearbox is nice and precise. It's got a nice light clutch action. It's got no quick shifter on this. The 500s don't have quick shifters, but it is a nice gearbox, 6-speed. So I'm in 6th gear now, 44 miles an hour, just over 2,500 revs, and she's plodding along nicely. A little bit chuggy if you open her up. If you want to make some progress, you're going to have to drop it down a couple of gears and go, yeah, 2, and then you can have a little bit of fun. It's got enough power to amuse you, keep you entertained, especially down these little lanes. I wouldn't class it as a motorway cruiser. God, it's very, what's the word, green under here. That's the word. Like lots of moss. But this road is a great test of the suspension. It is a little bit firm, but not too bad. It's damped okay actually. I haven't touched the back. The front is non-adjustable. You can feel the bumps, but it's not stupidly crashy. It doesn't skate all over the place. If the suspension's too hard, then on this road the bikes tend to skip around a little bit, whereas this is not too bad. It's on the more sporty side of comfort, if that makes any sense. Now this bike does have traction control as well, which is switchable. You can turn it off if you want to. And I know what a lot of people say, why do you need traction control on a 500 and beneath? Who says you can't have fun on a small capacity bike? Anyway, back to that traction control and people moaning about it. It's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it. That's my opinion. It seems to be very looked down on, especially in the UK, that small bikes have traction control. And the thing is, if you ride around big cities, especially London, seeing as we're here, is A lot of grease comes up from the roads, especially after a dry spell. When it rains, it brings up all the grease from the roads, and it can get quite slippery, even on small capacity bikes, 125s, etc. I've seen them high side. I've nearly high sided a 125 a few times myself. And if you go abroad where this bike sells a lot more, then they have cobblestone streets in their cities, so traction control comes in very handy in the wet. So that's why it's there. Stop moaning about it. It's there, and it's a safety feature. Embrace it. Right, back of Rikers, rear car park. Let's do a walk round.
I got blessings falling on me. I got weapons, need no army. That like Tetris, you don't know me. That my fatty, you don't know me. Okay, hey now, it's a new kid on the playground. So many bags on me, you would've thought I would get spray ground. Now they know I don't play around. I can hear what you're saying now. I just doubled up my flight miles. Coast to coast, no they ain't in town. I get rich, watch, then I get a sick watch. Watch me hit the top, I might make a TikTok. Left hand, right hand. Catch the latest trend, I might double up my net worth. I've been going up now, see the top going down. If you didn't know now, I know you know now. That's cause he could go on top, you not really top. You keep saying top, well I guess you let the top down. I've been going up now, see the top going down. If you didn't know now, I know you know now. That's cause he could go on top, you not really top. You keep saying top, well I guess you let the top down. Made a wish, now I'm here now. It's for real now. I got everything I wanted and it's jumping like for real now. Out the mud, just another state boy. Now I'm living like for real now.
Oh, sun's still shining. Box Hill car park, out in the Surrey Hills. What more could you want? I'll tell you what, this is a good little bike. I've been riding it for a little while now. Not too long. We're going to ride it some more after this. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a walk round. We're going to go around the bike with a different camera, give you a little bit more of a close-up look at it, and go through some stuff. We'll have a quick run through the dashboard. It's pretty much the same, well it is the same as the NX500, so I did it in that video, loosely speaking. I haven't connected my phone to it. And then what we're going to do after this, we're going to go for a ride. We're going to take it on some nicer roads, not so bumpy, smoother roads. We're going to have a little bit of fun, hopefully traffic dependent, and I'll say weather dependent. Weather's looking pretty good, so we're blessed with that. But let's have a quick look round at this and we'll go through some details. Right, that's better. Let's start at the front and work our way back. Right, front wheel, 17-inch rim, and that is a 120/70/17. Twin discs on the front, Nissan calipers, ABS, upside down forks leading up here. I'm not going to do the lights just yet. I'm going to come back to that. On the side here, you've got the Hornet emblem there. It's a parallel twin motor with a 2-into-1 exhaust. It's a 471cc A2 compliant parallel twin, as I just said. I think it's about 47 brake horsepower, something like that. It's got plenty of power if you don't want to break your neck and go super fast. I mean, it's not a sports bike, but you can have a little bit of fun on it. As a first bike, it's brilliant. Back here's your foot hanger. It's just your metal type, a little bit grippy on top, obviously folds back, and your hero blob there. And just your general standard Honda brake lever. Going back here to the pillion footrest, just a metal one, fold out with a little bit of grip there and some tie down points there if you want to strap some stuff to the back. And then you work your way down to your standard 500 exhaust that is on, I think it's on 3 of the models, CBR, and the Hornet and the NX. I think they all have the same exhaust. If I'm wrong, oh well, never mind. Right, onto the back tyre, and that is a 160/60/17, and this one's running Michelin Road 6s, which are really, really good tyres. So for these tyres to come standard on a bike, I can highly praise Honda for that. I do like these tyres, very, very good. Single brake disc on the back with ABS and a Nissan caliper again. Round this side, chain driven and all the same stuff, apart from it's got a gear shift, which is a 6-speed gear shift. There's not really a lot else I can say about this side. As I normally say, it's like the other side, but it's this side. It comes with a side stand but no center stand. The center stand, I believe, is an optional extra. This one has a few optional extras. Has the seat hump there, has a little fly screen there, and also the rim tape on the wheels. Be careful when you're googling rim tape, you can sometimes bring up something completely different. But anyway, moving on. Here you've got a single shock on the back that is adjustable for, I think it's preload only. And then on the front with the upside down forks, you've got these Showa SFFBP, which are separate function something big piston. I think that's what they stand for. I was closer than last time on the NX. But if you want to know anything about this bike, you can go down in the descriptions box and I'll leave a link to all the specifications for this right down there. Right, front lights, they're different on this one. I prefer this front end, it's much nicer than the old CB500F front end. It's got a stacked LED headlight and indicators. The indicators are not stacked, they're on the side. I'm talking about the headlight, but you knew that. And yeah, I like it, I really do like it. Round the back, LED tail light and stop light and the standard Honda LED indicators. I do like this tailpiece. As a standard tailpiece, this hanger is very nice. It keeps it nice and slick at the back, especially with that seat cowl there. It looks really, really nice and sporty on the back. Right, so let's have a little look under this seat cowl then. I'm going to try and do this with one hand. We managed it, folks, we managed it. Right, under here is, let me have a little look, put that there. That's your seat strap that goes over the back. And then you've got some gubbins in here. That looks like an Optimate charger. So it's got an Optimate on there. I don't know whether that's standard or something the shop has fitted. You've got a little bit of space under there. Not a lot. It's full of electrics. You've got your little loom back there. And so you've got a toolkit under there. But apart from that, you could put a wallet in there. Little bits and bobs, but not too much. Right, let's try and put it back on one-handed. Wow, that was easy. Easier than most of the bikes I've had to deal with over the past few years. Left hand side of the handlebar, you've got your clutch, which is nice and light. You've got your full beams and your flasher here. You've got your traction control on and off there. You've got a little joystick here, which is illuminated at night. That's a nice touch. You've got your horn there, or hooter. You've got your indicators down there. Over to the other side, you've got your brake lever here, which is adjustable. You've got your throttle, obviously, kill switch, hazard lights, and your starter. Your clutch, by the way, is non-adjustable. Right, moving on to the dashboard. We're going to be brief with this because we did it on the NX, or we attempted to do it on the NX and failed miserably. Around the outside, you've got your traction control light there, your neutral light there. You've got some other lights around now. I think that's your HISS light, which is your Honda something security system. ABS light there. At the top, you've got your indicators, and your full beam comes on your TFT screen there. Now here's a TFT screen and it syncs with the Honda app. I think it's the Road Sync app, something like that. I'll put it on the screen what it's called, and you can connect it to your phone, control it via Bluetooth, and that will bring up a little box down here. So if I hold the joystick to the right, it brings up that box, and your navigation, your music and your phone calls will all come up in a box there. I haven't got it linked up to my phone at the moment, but if you look back at the NX video, it kind of linked up to my phone. It was a disaster, and that was my fault because I didn't do any research, but it linked up to my phone, and you get little information here. So you do navigation via your phone. It gives you arrows and distance on here. It's not a full map, but it's handy to have, and it's handy for phone calls and stuff like that. And music if you so desire. Now the screen is customizable. Again, we did that on the NX. We had a little look round, so I'm not going to go into the menus for now. I'm just going to tell you what's on this screen. You've got a rev counter around the outside, your oil warning light that goes off when you start moving, gear indicator there, your speedometer there, little miles per gallon average down there as you're going along live. Information here, which again is via this little joystick on the left. And you've got various informations there, including settings, so you can go into that. I'm not going to muck around with that because it's just come out the shop and they've probably set it up how they want it set up. If I do get one for a while, like a long-term test, I shall go more in depth into the menus and muck around with it a little bit more. You've got a clock here, and then you've got your fuel gauge there. That's about it for the clock, but it is a much better clock system than it was on the old one. If you like the old one, that's fine, but I prefer this TFT, and you can run it with a black background and different rev counters and stuff like that. So it's nice, a little bit customizable, but all in all, I think it's a marked improvement. It would help if I could find my gloves. I've left them over there. I'll be back. Right, that's the walk round done. Let's get on and ride some more. Gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Fingers crossed, traffic dependent. You know how it goes. You've been here before. Once again, if there's anything you need to know or want to know, I shall leave the full specifications for this bike downstairs in the descriptions box, so go and check that out. I shall also leave the details of Doble's website down there as well, the guys that supply me with this bike. Ian is the general manager, so thank you very much to Ian for supplying this bike. I really appreciate it. If you are in the area, pop down and see them and give Ian a little hug. He loves it. Easy to maneuver, especially when you've got really long legs. Right, so let's get on and ride a little bit more while the sun's still in the sky and it's a beautiful day. Still a little bit cold, but it's a beautiful day nevertheless. So let's get on and test this little Hornet 500 just a little bit more, and at the end of that I'll give you my conclusion. I'll tell you what I didn't do that I was meant to do on the walk round. I didn't give you guys a little listen to the exhaust, so at some point in the near future I shall pull over and let you listen to that. Only through the microphone in the crash helmet, but I know some of you guys like that. As promised, here's a quick listen to the exhaust. It's got a nice little pop on the overrun as well. Not bad for a standard exhaust. Right, so let's head on through Dorking town centre. We'll see what it's like at filtering and slow moving through traffic, because I know some of you guys will be buying this purely for the commute and the slow speed handling, and pretty much like all the 500s, it's well balanced. It's got a nice usable low down torque. It's not snatchy. It's nice and easy to just glide past cars without too much fuss. It's slim enough that you can get through the gaps. The gearbox is nice, the clutch is light, and as I said before, the throttle response is not too snatchy at all. So for this sort of thing, I'll give it a thumbs up. The brakes are nice as well. It's got a good feeling to it, this bike. Front brake's really nice. Back brake works, but we don't rely on those too much. I mean, it is a good back brake. I tend to use it more for keeping myself in line or bringing myself back in line if I get the corners a little bit wrong, which I do quite a lot. But on the front end, it's got a nice feeling to it. It's got a nice bit of bite to it. It's good strength. So second gear, under 2,000 revs, 14 miles an hour. A little bit chuggy, but not too bad. I think once you get up around the 2,500 revs, that's where it really smooths out. Don't worry, we'll go a little bit quicker in a minute. I was just testing it out in town to see what it handled like as a commuter. I don't like doing this stuff, you know. I hate traffic. If you've been to this channel before, you'll know that. So I'm doing it for you. The hard thing is trying to find a road with no traffic without going pure country lanes, which is more in the territory of the adventure bike rather than the street bike. Right, so from the front, the wind, there's no buffeting at all. Being a naked bike, again, they've got it right with the pure wind. I don't mind that so much. Sometimes you get a bike with a front end with a little bit of a screen on and it causes buffeting, whereas this doesn't cause it at all. Even up to motorway speeds and beyond. Allegedly. It's nice, I like it. It gives you that naked bike experience without the negativity of the being blown all over the place. I mean, when you are up at higher speeds, obviously you can feel it more. That's just science. We need to find a road with no traffic. Right, I don't know where I'm going now, but I'm going to turn off here. I can't stand this road anymore. Let's hit some country lanes. Let's go back roads. This is where the low sun doesn't help, and I've picked completely the wrong lane. This is no good, is it? Oh well, we'll find out what it's like as an off-roader. Oh, beautiful road, but not for this bike. Apologies, my friends, apologies. That detour didn't work out, did it? It's just quite steep. We're just doing all this in third gear. The engine is lovely, even when you find the wrong roads. Well, I'll tell you what, Surrey Hills are absolutely beautiful. My apologies for taking you the wrong way. Bear with me. I'll tell you what it does show up though, that how easy this bike is to handle. There's not a lot of road to aim for, so it's quite fidgety, as in the surface, as in slippery, holes, indentations, off cambers, that sort of thing. And it's doing a good job. This looks a bit suspect. Let's go down here. You didn't think I was going to take you on an adventure, did you? Got to use a bit of back brake on the downhill. We're in second gear. Let's see how much it holds. So we're holding at about 21, 22 on the engine braking. So it's not too bad. It's got a little bit of engine braking, which is handy going downhill. So you don't have to use the brakes so much. I mean, this is probably not the test you tuned in for, but we're here now. I'll get back onto some normal roads in a minute. But welcome everyone to the English countryside. And it's also on roads like this where the traction control comes in a little bit handy. But the good thing is the traction control doesn't kick in too early. I mean, that was very slippery, but it wasn't too intrusive. This is proper sketchy. Oh dear. Does it though? It does it. Wouldn't advise it, but it does it. This is where my off-road riding comes in handy. Right, so hopefully we've found some better quality roads that are a little bit more fun. So let's try this out. Oh, a little bit of a jump there. When you want to have a little bit of fun, you definitely can. You don't need 500 brake horsepower. 47 will do it. It does get a little bit choppy on these bouncy roads when you're pushing on. If you're just cruising, chilling, it's brilliant. If you're pushing on, you just got to be a little bit wary, but it's all part of the fun. It actually makes it very entertaining. And that's in a good way as well. Not in a bad way, in a good way. Because you have to bear in mind that this bike is not designed for choppy, back bumpy roads. This is a street bike slash kind of commuter bike. First big bike, that sort of thing. So they've got to get a balance right. And do you know what? I think they have. I'm having fun on every single road that I ride on. And to me, that's the main point of a bike. Does it make me smile? And this one does. So all in all, what do I think about this bike? I really, really like it. It's a jack of all trades. I won't say it's a master of none, but it's a master of being a jack of all trades, if that makes sense. Obviously the off-roading bit, we can cancel that out, but I mean for a street bike, it's quite comfortable, it's quite sporty. The suspension is firm enough to be a little bit sporty, but soft enough to do the commute on and be comfortable. If you like the wind in your face, you could do a little bit of touring. It handles nicely. It looks fantastic. I love this front end. I like the new headlight. All in all, for me, the Honda 500, massive thumbs up. I really, really like it. I liked its predecessor, the CB500F, but this has moved it on a notch. This, I much prefer. I don't know what it is about this I much prefer, but as a package, yeah, I do. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. Also hit that notification bell so you guys can get the drop on these videos. I shall see you on the next one. You know I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get gone.